I also want to bring up to you, because one of the biggest complaints that I saw throughout people was the graphics. The graphics for Halo Infinite. Now, neither you or I are very graphic-driven people, and I'm willing to stake my reputation, which is very, very small, by the way. I'm willing to stake my reputation that the majority of gamers actually agree with us.
I think so. I'll stake mine as well with you. We'll stake together.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the majority of gamers actually would concur with that. That if the story is good, if the gameplay is good, if the multiplayer is fun, then, you know, who really cares what the graphics look like? But with that said, man, the Halo Infinite, there were times when watching that where the graphics look like Xbox 360.
I don't agree with that completely, but I mean, the render distance alone, like how detailed it was and the distance that could be seen was far better than anything we've seen on, well, at least Xbox 360. It's not, I will say it is only marginally better than what I saw on Xbox One. Marginally. So, but it wasn't running at max, I'm pretty sure.
Well, and this is a legitimate argument that people have brought up, including Andrew Wall, who I do the other podcast with, that, you know, there's what, 4-5 months out from the actual release of Halo Infinite now. If they, like, by coming out and not showing a finished product right now, by actually saying like, hey, you know, like, you know, this wasn't fully complete yet. But that's not a good sign, and that's an argument that a lot of people made, that it's actually not going to get a whole lot better for that, at least for this title.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you look at the games that came out when the Xbox One first released, and none of them were that graphically impressive, except for Forza. Forza was one of the console releases that came out with, I can't remember what that term is, when a game releases with a console, but it was
launch title.
Launch title. Yeah, there it is. Thank you. That shit looked amazing. Like, I was blown away. But things have just continually gotten better since then. You know? Like Destiny, the difference between Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, 2014 to 2018, like, oh my God, significant. So 4 years down the road from now, once developers kind of get a better idea of what they're doing and how, like, the upper limits of these new consoles' capabilities, then I'm sure they'll figure out how to stretch things out a little bit more.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point.
So
I hadn't really considered that, because you're right. When you go back and you look at the Xbox One games from 2014, when the Xbox One first came out, and the same with PlayStation 4, you're right. Compared to where they are now on that exact same console, it's almost night and day.
Oh my God, Spider-Man PS4. Holy shit, that game looks fucking amazing.
Yeah, it does.
And that came out, like, what, last year or year before last?
I honestly don't remember. It was 2000. I believe it was just last year.
Yeah. So
maybe it wasn't.
It took that long. I mean, there were some other games, obviously, that were really, really good looking for the PS4 at least. But the like, Xbox hasn't had anything that was, like, all that graphically impressive, other than Red Dead. Red Dead did look really good.
Red Dead is phenomenal. And that game alone, that kind of like changes my opinion on what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Because I've seen where they were with Red Dead on the Xbox 360, and then 9 years later, where they are with it now.